about class detection in Navisworks. Before that, I need a integrated model. So how can we do that with multiple disciplinary model? So for that, here we have this append option. So if you go for this append, and you can use your Revit file to merge or create your integrated model, or you can choose NWC files as well. So if I'm using like this Revit file, so I'll go to the Revit folder, and here if I select this architectural and this structural model, so let me select this two only, and let me click on open. I'm selecting this two because if I select more other files, it will take much time to generate, to load. So that's why I've just selected these two only to demonstrate. All right. So here you can see that I have this architectural, here you can see I have this architectural file and this structural file here. Okay. And these are placed at the right location. Okay. So you have to mention all the things. So for that, we have this option. And if you go to the file readers, and there you have this Revit. So here this coordinates is mentioned as the project internal. As per the internal project coordinate, it is placed. Okay, so you can go to that option, and you can change the settings before your before appending this to model, and then you can go for save, and you can save it as NWF or NWD file. So now guys, tell me, what are the difference between NWD and NWF, or just tell me the definition of NWF file and NWD file, any of you guys. Hello.
Sir, NW is the whole combined file.
Then complete your answer. This is not this is not complete. I described in the first class. Even in the second class, I asked you, you didn't answer. Again, I told you, but you are still blank. This is not done, guys. You should practice, or you should watch the previous classes recordings. Okay, so here I'm going to save it as NWF file. Let me save it as NWF file. So if I choose as NWF file, so I'll get the live link of this RVT files. So if I change in the RVT files, I can get the latest model in this NWF file. So I can get that. So here within this desktop, or within this Revit folder, you can save it as NWF file. So here I'm going to save it as demo arc plus. Okay. So here, let me save it. And this is right now the NWF file. Okay. So suppose if I open this in my, let me go for new or already existing file. So sorry, desktop, Revit, structural file. Let me open this structural file. Okay, and let me open this. Also go to desktop, Revit, and here you can see that I have this NWC file, and recently this NWC file, you can see today's date. Okay, so now let me do one thing is go to 3D view there, and suppose if I delete or if I add some more over there for this footing, so if I add more, so right now this is the level, correct? If I go to this level and if I add some, uh, go to CS, and I will choose this one to place it over there. Okay, let me go to 3D there. Now let me check it. And it should be placed at the bottom. So I'll go with the align tool. I will select this bottom surface. We press tab. Or let me just give it a height offset minus 12 inches. This is also 18 inches. Okay, so then I will go with that minus 1.6 inches. Okay, so this way we will place over there. Okay, so let me select it, go for CS. I will place with minus 1.6 inches. Okay, now for these also I will place, let me go for CS. Let's create similar. Let's place it over there. Let me go with match properties. So let me just quickly perform minus 1.5 inches. Match properties. We'll select it. I have to do it. Let me select all these. Okay, and there you can see all these are placed right now. So then you need to save it. Go for save, and then let me go to Navisworks, and there go for refresh, and it will refresh. So here you can see this is the NWF file. It contains the live link. So here, I hope you all can see the update. So this way we create NWF file when the work is still in process. We are still working in our model. So here we will run the uh, clashes in NWF file, and we will resolve in our RVT file, and then we will update in the Naviswork to get the clash-free model. Fine. So it's clear to everyone, right? And here you can see that we have this architectural file and we have this structural file. Okay, that is the RVT file. These are two RVT files. And now I'll go for this class detection. I'll click on this class detective. So this window will be opened. And if it is floating, so you can just simply drag and dock to this position. And if it is not coming here, so you have to click on this. You have to click on this class detective option, or you can go to the view and come to this windows. And from here also you can click on this class detective window. Okay, fine. Now you can see that this is right now selected and nothing is there, right? There is nothing. Every options are grayed out or deactive. Why? Because within this class detective, there is no test added. Until we add any test, no option will be active. So you have to click on this add test option. And here you can see that we have one test and just give it a name. So clash, here you can give clash between A and S. All right. Okay, so this is the name. And now you can see that the status is new. Sorry, guys. So come to this class detective window. Here you can see that this status is new and a new clash has been created, but we haven't run the test, and that's why we don't have any clashes. Clashes are 0, and we have three open clash and two closed clash. These two approved and resolved are called closed clashes, and new active reviewed, these are your open classes. So here you can see that the classes, total classes are 0, open 0, and closed 0. So we have nothing right now. And here we have these options. You can reset also. If you have done any mistake, you can reset them, and again you can rerun. And here we have this compact all option. Compact all will be helpful for you to remove all the resolved classes. So when you will have your resolved classes, so this compact all option will help you to remove all the resolved classes, because we don't need those to highlight as a clash anymore, as because this is resolved, right? So we will click on this compact all option. And if you want to delete all your clashes, so you can just delete. So it will not be added anymore within this class detective window. All right. Now, before running the test, you will get this option, run test. You need to select your model or the component. So if you want to be specific by each level or by any component, so you can select. So in the last class, I have already mentioned that in the selection tree, we have this standard or compact. This option is there. So you can choose compact to get the list like that. Okay, so from here you can just select this architecture, and from the selection B, that is going to be your second item. This is the selection A is going to be your first item, and the selection B is going to be your second item. Okay, and here we have this rules option. Just a second. I don't know. System. Yes. Okay, so I was getting some error. Yes. So here we have some rules. If you need any of them, so you can just go for this items in same layer. Suppose you have to ignore all the clashes between the same layer. So in Navisworks, levels are mentioned as layer. So in each particular level, suppose you don't want to run any clashes between the objects which are present in the same level, so you can ignore them. So for that, just check it. Okay. And here we have items in same group. So if you have created group in your Revit, so all the items, multiple items in the same group will not be, uh, we will not check classes between all those objects which are present in the same group or block, and items in same file. So generally we don't do that, item in same file. So item in same file option will be selected when you don't want to run all the clashes between the same file, like all the components between the architecture file. You don't want to run any clashes. If there are any clashes between your architecture model, so you don't want to run any clashes between the same file. So items with coincident snap points. So if they are meeting at the same point and you don't want to highlight them as clash, so you can ignore it. So right now we are not applying any rules. Just these are for your information. And if you want to add any more rule over there, so click on new. And from this rule templates, you can choose insulation thickness and all these things you can add. And now let's go for select. So I will select this uh, selection A, architecture, and this selection B, structure. So I'll run clash between architecture and structure. And after that, this run test option will be active. Now we have this option surface. So it will include all the surface geometry in the clash test. Okay, so what you want to include for your model? So for your 3D model, you have to click on this surfaces. So we will run the clashes, and we will check that your surfaces, if surfaces between these two model are occupying the same space or not. And here we have this line. Do you want to include any line geometry? So if there are any CAD files, between the CAD files, if you want to run the clashes, so you can just go for this, or if there are any annotations. So generally for 3D, we don't include these lines. So that is not needed. If anything, any lines are there, so you just can include it. And here we have this point. So generally we will include this point if you have any point cloud file. For that you can include. And here we have this option self intersect. You can click on this self intersect if you have any duplicate item. So it will find out if you have any duplicate item which is clashing in that same object in, right? So generally I know that there is no duplicate object, so I will not check it. And rather than selecting it from this architectural RVT or the structural RVT, you can select it by this option, use current selection. So from this scene in Navisworks, you can select it from the scene, and you can use that selection as your selection A, and you can go to the select scene. So if you click on it, it will highlight you to, or it will ask you to select the selecting the scene. So that is right now selected. Here you can see that architectural RVT is selected, and from here also you can go for this selecting scene. So this model will be selected in the scene so that you can understand that this is the these are the structural model. Okay. Now we have the settings. What is the type? What are the type of your model? So these are your solid models. So that's why we will use hard. If you have any conservative or mesh kind of object, I suppose if you have created in any other softwares which generate uh, uh, mesh objects. So if you use your Enscape model, suppose if you use Enscape model, Enscape assets. Enscape assets are generally mesh objects. So for that, if you want to run clashes, you select hard conservative. Okay. So if these two are your mesh objects, so you can choose hard conservative. And we have this clearance. So if you are checking any clearance, how much clearance is there for clearance, like for MEP objects, we generally run clearance and all. And we have duplicate objects. So if you are checking any duplicate objects, so from here also you can check any duplicate objects in between these two. And you can choose tolerance also. So tolerance, you already know that we can ignore this much of gap if there is any if there are any objects which which occupy this much of distance, this much of gap, then we can simply ignore them. We can tolerate this much of gap if there are any clashes between these values. So we can just tolerate them. It will not identify as classes. And after that, if there is any if there are some objects which comes between 301, so it will identify as a clashes. Okay, so I'll go with the hard one. And if there are any link objects, suppose you want to link your timeliner, if you have created a simulation, so from there you want to run the clashes, so you can add this. So in next class I will show you probably, or for this I can like some special class I may arrange for this timeliner, linking timeliner. Okay. So here let's not add any tolerance value. Okay. And composite object clashing will be checked, and then click on this run test. So here you can see that we have this much of clashes, 5,000, 343 clashes, and the status is right now done. And all these are in new clashes. Okay. And here you can see this is the item, first item, those selected as A, highlighted with this item 1 color, and the selection B highlighted with this item 2 color. So right now this use item colors is selected. You can choose use status color also. So status color new, you can see that this is new status. Currently the status for clash 1 is new. And what is the color for new is red. And for each status, we have different colors. So we can highlight with the status color as well, so that we can easily identify that what is the status of your clash. Is this a active clash, or it is approved or reviewed? So right now we will use item 1, item 2 color. Now let me go to option. Let me go to option, and here we will find a class detective option. So go to tools, class detective, and from here you can change the item color. So like you can choose like this item 1, and for this you can choose this red. You can click on OK, and now come to class detective, and here you can see these are the color. Okay, so let me go to this clash 1 to clash 2, and here you can see it's identify with this. So it's like selecting the whole structural model with this architectural component, the total room you can see. So from the select, what you can do, you can just select all these levels, and from your structure also, you can just choose these levels. Okay, and then you can run the test between this. And as because I have rerun the test and those are the same test, so that's why it's showing you as active. Okay, as active test. And then you can switch back to your Revit, and there you can solve the classes, and then again you can refresh it here. Fine. Now we can do what? We can group them also. We can group them. So we can generally click on this new group, and we can create a new group. So let me just select all these clashes, click on new group. Uh, let's create with A, enter. Okay, so just drag it this way. So select this class 2 and click, hold and drag to this group. And this way you can add it to the group. Okay, you can create group of your classes. So if you know that this much of element identifying with this, and you need to create as a group, so you can separate them and you can organize all these classes very easily. And then you can also have this option explode group to get it back as normal. Then we can assign these classes to particular members. For that, we have this option assign here, and it will be listed here. So if you click on assign, suppose this class 2 and class 1 is selected, and if you click on this assign, and suppose if you assign to suppose Avadut, and you add notes like check the clash in each file, private, and click on OK. And here you can see that 1 and 1 is showing. That means this there is a comment is added. And here, if you don't want to assign to particular member, so for that, you can just add a comment. All right. So you can just add a comment that will not be assigned to any particular member. You can add any comment. And after that, what you can do, you can generate all the clash report. So for that, you can go to this report option. So before that, let me show you that here we have this highlighting window, and you can go for this display settings only. So it will not highlight, it will not add this highlighting window. You click here and it will show that highlighting. So this item are highlighting with these colors, and isolation is right now dim other. So all the other objects right now dimmed. Here you can see. So for that, you can go to option and go to this class detective. Here you have this dimming transparency. So you can change the dimming transparency. You see, you can change the dimming transparency. Okay. So at the bottom, you have this default. So click on yes. So you will get the default. Let me go to class detective, and here you can click on the hide other option. So it will show you only the model, only these two from these two selection only. No other items will be visible here. You can see the clashes very easily. It will show you only the clashes. Okay. Now let me go to report, and it will generate a report. So within the report, what are the content? What are the contents you need? So you select the summary, the clash point, the date, assigned to, date approved by, the layer name. So you know that levels in Revit mentioned as a layer in Navisworks. And here we have this item path. So all the files item path where it is saved, it will be mentioned also, so that you know you that where the files are located, so that you can open them and you can use them to solve your classes. And all the item IDs, and this will help you, the item ID will help you to find it in Revit. So in previous classes, I have already showed you that there is an option select by ID, and you can use this ID numbers. So you can include this item path, and what are the classes will be included. So new classes, active classes, reviewed, approved. So right now we don't have any approved classes. So I can uncheck the approved class. And here I have this resolved class. So for resolved class, what you can do, we can generate a separate report for all the resolved classes. That will be better option. So right now I need a new active reviewed. So right now I don't have any reviewed. So let's only select this two, and these are the contents. So report type is current test. All the tests, you can combine all these tests as a single report, or you can choose all the tests as separate report. So right now I'm just using the current test. And the report format. A report format will be XML, HTML, HTML tabular, and here also we have text. So text doesn't contain any image, but the image file path will be mentioned. All the file path will be mentioned as text format. And also we can create as viewpoint. So you already know what are the viewpoints are, how we can create viewpoints. So we can create viewpoints for all the classes. So I will show you that also. So let me just choose HTML and let me click on this write report. So here at desktop, let me save it in the desktop. So let me save it in the desktop. Let me save it. Yes. So we have 2000 number of classes, so it will take time. Just hold for a few seconds. It will create a report, and within that report, uh, all the informations, all the contents will be there. And if you have assigned to the particular members and added comments, those will be mentioned also. So generally, what happened is these clashes are detected by your BIM coordinators or senior BIM leader. So generally, BIM modelers don't run the classes; they only resolve the classes. So they don't have permission uh, to the Navisworks to run the classes. So generally, this report will be sent to the BIM modelers, and they will be directed to the with the instruction how to solve the classes, and they will be solving the classes with these reports. Okay, so that is there. That is saved. Let me go to desktop, and here you can see this is the file. So let me choose this Microsoft Edge to open it, and here it is. Okay, so here you can see that this is the clash between architecture and structure. We have 2,900 active classes, and this is class 2. So for this class 2, the status is new, the user, and this is assigned to the.
Sir,
Sir,
your
nothing is
window is not now visible.
Okay. Sorry, let me reshare it again. Is this visible now?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Uh, so here you can see that this is the clash report, and this is the clash name, clash between architecture and structure, and all the clash numbers, the total clash and clash type, hard clash, and for each classes here you can see this is the clash 2 and the distance is 431.80. You can see, and this is the actives and clash point where it is clashed, the grid location, the date created, it is assigned to Mr. Avadut, and the element ID for item 1. You know what is the item 1? Your architectural model is the item 1, and this is the path. You see where it is saved. So it's showing you this is the path for this element. In this architectural RVT, first floor, room A11020, and this is the item name. Okay, so this is the item name, and the item type is rooms, and this is the second item ID and all this information. So with this, you can uh, resolve your clashes, or you can use it for the information purpose. You can have it. Let me reshare the Navisworks screen now. Okay, so can you see all the Navisworks file?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So now let me go for open. Let me just go to Navisworks, all Navis file. So let me go to the Navisworks folder and let me use this one. Okay, and now I'll go to the viewpoint, change the mode to full render, and I'll go to view. Let me select the background horizon, click on apply and OK. Right, so if I do the clashes, here you can see the add option. So within this, all these are added. Okay, architectural, electrical, mechanical, sprinkler, structural. So you can run all these classes between two, like architectural and mechanical. And here you can choose your sprinkler, electrical. You can choose with these two also. So multiple selection can be done, and you can run the test. Okay, so that is also possible. So currently I'm not doing it. You know how to do it, so you can just do it. Okay, so let me just go with this architectural to structural only. This WC and okay, let's. So I will what I'll do. I will choose this hard, and here I will provide any tolerance so that I just get lesser classes. So I'm just detecting less classes so that it will be easier for me to demonstrate. So let me just go with 3 and let me run test. So with this also, these are the values. So let me go to select and here let me go with 30 and these are the class numbers. So let me go with 300 run test and I have 114. I need more or less. So I have to go with 3000. Let's check rent test. Okay, so it's 0. So I don't need that laser even. So let's go with 1000 run test, even it's 0. So let's go with 500 run test, even that is 0. So let's go with 400. Even that is 0. So just guys 50. Okay, so I'm getting this much. This is the last. All right, so class 1, class 2, and this simulation is selected. So if you don't click on this show simulation, so it will not show you any simulation over there. And here we have this viewpoint, so it will be auto update. If you choose this manual, so it will be like that. So it will be auto update. Okay. Now after that, I will go to report and here I will generate as viewpoint and this preserve result highlighting should be on so that it will highlight all the it will include all the highlightings. In this result there is this highlighting option is there, right? So it will include these highlightings with these colors. So go to report and let's go for this current test and I will create as viewpoints. Let's go for write report and within this test one, so it was the naming as test one. Within this test one I have these classes as viewpoint. So here you will have it. So you can see these are the clashes. Okay, so now how can you get back to the normal condition? So for that you have this reset appearance. So click on this reset appearance and then go to any other view. Okay, so first click on this reset appearance, then go to any other view. That will be better. And if you choose this 3D, so it will direct you to this clash 3D. Okay, so don't do that. Click on this reset appearance, then go for any other particular view, and then you can change it. So come to reset appearance, and then you can get back to your normal view. All right, so this way, this viewpoints will be added, and you can add this viewpoints to create animation. All right, so this is all about your clashes. And here you can see that we are currently in this view tab, and it's showing you uh, for this clash, the active grid and this level. Okay, so currently that is the display level. You can click on this show grid also. So it will show you the grid. Okay. And for the grids, we have these settings. You can change the colors for your grids. Choose this two colors. Okay. Okay, so these are the grids which are below. So the grids are showing for this structural file, and at this top of footing level, the grid are visible. If you want to make it visible for first floor, so it will be for first floor or third floor or fourth floor. All right. So we have these viewpoints. I don't need this show grid option to be highlighted. So come to your reset appearance, and you will have all these clashes. Your reports are generated, and you can resolve it in your Revit. So in the Revit, uh, let me share the Revit screen. I hope this Revit screen is visible. Within this Revit also, we have this interference check option. So here also you can run this interference check. Okay, but we do it in Navisworks. That will be more better. From there, you can generate all the classes properly. You can generate all your reports. You can generate it as viewpoints. Here also, you can create all the viewpoints by duplicating them. And in Navisworks, we do it better with the classes. So there, not only within a single file, we can run classes between multidisciplinary files. So that's the better thing. And not only one on one classes between two multiple disciplines, we can run classes between multiple multidisciplinary files. That's the better thing. Okay. All right. So this will help you to like run the classes, and within the results you can assign it to the particular members. You can manage all the classes with the group. You can resolve them. You can highlight them as a new or active or reviewed classes or approved or resolved classes. So this way it will help you to gather all the information, manage all these information related to your classes. And here we have another option. Suppose if I make it as resolved, and here you can see this is the resolved one. And in this closed, there is one included. And if I make it approved also, this one is approved. So I have approved one and resolved one, and these two are closed classes. And within this, if I make it as reviewed, that will be as open class. So here you can see that we have this new triple one and this reviewed one. So we have total open classes are 112. Okay. And if you want to compact, if you click on this compact, so it will clear all the resolved classes. So click on this, and right now we have this only one approved class. So that is the thing. So here we can do it better. And that is all about Navisworks class prediction. Thank you. That is all for today. Let me know if you have any question or anything to ask.